What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Universal Mastery. Welcome back to my public YouTube channel. What exactly am I going to be speaking about in today's video? Okay, this is going to be a juicy subject. I'm going to be talking about why the majority of the human population on our planet is completely controlled by Universe.B vampires. I'm going to be speaking about why this is. Why is this happening? Why is this taking place? Why is it that the vampires are dominating on this planet right now? Why is it that the vampires seem to have the most control and the most power? All right, so if this is a subject that you feel like you want to know a little bit more about, and you don't know many people that talk about these subjects like myself, then you're definitely in tune for the right video. Look, there's a military helicopter right up there. I don't know if you can see it. I don't know if you can see it in the background, but right on that subject, I'm talking about military helicopters and vampires. Very significant. So yeah, you have one thing to do, and that's to stay tuned. All right, well, let me first start with introducing myself, just in case you don't know who I am. My name is Jeremiah Schwartz. I am a professional occultist. I am fully initiated in the entirety of the Kabbalistic tree. I'm studied when it comes to the 22 major arcana of the tarot deck, and I'm also studied when it comes to planetary energies in direct association with astrology. Now, with that being said, we're moving into the subject. So why is it that the entire majority of the population, I'm talking about like 99% of humans, why is it that they are dominated and seemingly controlled by Universe.B vampires? Okay, now obviously if you're new to my channel and you're hearing me talk about this, you're probably like, what are you talking, what is a vampire? What is a Universe.B vampire? Is this guy crazy? I have no idea what he's talking about. Well, first of all, I know most of you understand what I'm talking about, but just to give some brief context for those of you that don't know, a Universe.B vampire is a type of energetic being that pulls in energy, sucks in energy, and serves themselves as the source. Okay, there is a natural destructive component to Universe.B vampires, and that is their evolutionary value to this planet. Now, this is definitely hard for a lot of people to understand because since children, we've been programmed and indoctrinated to believe things from a lens of good and evil. And everything that's associated with a real Universe.B vampire has been programmed as evil. And this separates the human species from understanding the balance between yin and yang, light and darkness within our universe. Okay, so many people have no idea about vampires, but when they hear me talk about it, they think I'm referring to something completely evil, as if it doesn't have its space within our universe, when it does. So, moving into the subject, for those of you that obviously know what I'm talking about, and you understand the concept of vampires on an occult energetic level, I'm not talking about Vlad Dracula walking around or Morbius necessarily, talking about more on an occult level, hidden level, energetic level, then you know that it is the vampires that are right now controlling the planetary influence. There's many vampires in positions of power, myself included, that have a massive effect on the unconscious of the human species, which means we have an ability to manifest storms, we have an ability to manifest mainstream events, the events that you see manifesting on the news, we have an ability to manifest changes in cities, we have an ability to pretty much manifest anything we want within the unconscious realm. And when things happen in the unconscious realm, they affect the emotional body of the mass collective, then they eventually affect the mental body of the mass collective, and then it becomes physical. So I want you to do some homework if you're listening, and I want you to watch a movie called Dark City. There's a movie called Dark City that I've seen, and this movie gives you the exact reality of what is taking place on our planet when it comes to the real Universe.B vampires. And just to give you a brief explanation of what happens in this movie, there's a city that operates like a normal city would, except when it comes to nighttime, specifically there's a certain time that it hits. I think it was 12 o'clock in the movie or 11, something around there. And time basically freezes. So every human being in the city freezes, and then comes out the vampires, while everything else is frozen. And these vampires have an ability to change things within the unconscious of the human beings while they're frozen, and place certain energies inside of them, basically influencing them on that unconscious level. Like, I want this person to make a mistake today, or I want this person to get in an argument with their boss, or I want this person to divorce their husband. So these vampires place these influences, you could even go as far as saying thoughts and emotions, within the unconsciousness of these frozen humans. And then when the time strikes again and everything unfreezes, those humans act out in the way that they've been programmed. So they start acting along the lines of whatever was put into their unconscious. This is that same concept of why Universe.B vampires are literally predominantly controlling the entire human species on our planet, for the most part. Not everyone. There are many people that are truly walking their soul's path, their soul's purpose, and are not nearly as affected by it. But the majority of the population is utterly controlled by it. And they are actively controlled by it, meaning they're not even really putting in much effort whatsoever to break out of that control. So, for those of you that know, and you're listening to me now, you're probably wondering why. Why is that happening? Why is that taking place? What's really going on here? I'm having a hard time understanding this, and also trying to, have my connection to the source while realizing what's happening on our planet, because it can seem very evil, and it can seem very corrupt. And with that level of evil, or that level of corruptness, it can almost seem like, if there is such thing as a source, then why are these things taking place? Why are these things happening? Why are they manifesting? And then some of you are going to develop the savior archetype, and you're going to want to fight against it. The archetype of the hero, just like everything you see in the movies with Batman, Superman, Spider-Man. They're the hero. They're saving the world from bad. They're saving the world from the villain. Okay, so a lot of you develop that archetype too, because you just don't understand the yin to the yang, and you don't understand that there's a natural balance that takes place within our universe. That's okay. That's what I'm here for. I am a Lucifer in that way, where I share knowledge of evil and non-evil, good and evil, true knowledge of good and evil. What does that mean? True knowledge of positive and negative energies and how they come into a balance point within our universe. So getting back into it. So why is it happening? Well, first, one of the biggest reasons why it's actually taking place is because people are traumatized, and they have these emotions within their body that they are afraid to feel. Now, because they're afraid to feel the emotions, what happens is that when they get closer to actually feeling, that anxiety and that fear and that pain starts to heighten because of, once again, that deep trauma that's inside of the average human being. And I'm saying it in a way, but I'm not separate from this. I have trauma too. I have things I need to heal too. Except the only difference is from me compared to the average person is I'm actually on this healing journey, and I'm seeking it. I'm intending it. I'm actually going through the steps and walking through the motions of understanding myself better, so I can not be influenced unconsciously, so I can have more control in my life and move in a direction that serves me as the source. How can I love myself as the source is where I'm at. Now, once again, the average person, though, is not on that path. They're not trying to do that work. They're afraid of it. So one of the easiest things to do is finding a scapegoat. It's finding a place to put that blame. So once again, they're traumatized from something they went through in their life, multiple things they went through in their life. And it's those same traumas that are having a massive effect on their daily routines, their daily behaviors, and ultimately is the reason why their lives are complete shit. And let's just be honest. It's the reason why their lives are just complete shit. They don't have an ability to take self-responsibility because remember, they're not healing. So if they take self-responsibility, that immediately destroys the ego. And if they destroy the ego, that means they're being forced to heal now. And if they're not healing, then they're not going to be able to destroy the ego. So they can't take responsibility. So what do instead? They scapegoat, they point the finger. They say, oh, these people are the reason why I can't be me. It's this group of beings, this group of people, it's this community, it's this person. They're the reason why I can't be me. They're the reason why I can't live my highest potential. They're the reason why my life isn't happy. So when people are doing this they thing, and they're pointing, and they're not self-reflecting, they're feeding the source of destruction within our universe. I'll go as far as saying that, within our universe, but also on this planet. And what is the source of destruction on our planet? It's the real black magicians. It's the real Universe.B vampires. I'm speaking for myself included, we are the source of destruction on this planet. Now, some of you hear me say this, and you think, oh my gosh, why am I watching him right now? How could I listen to somebody who speaks in that way? How can I listen to someone who says these types of things? That's completely evil. You're so moralistically incorrect. But, I mean, and if that's what you want to believe, then obviously go ahead and believe it. I don't care. I could care less. Because there's a much deeper principle and a much deeper truth that goes behind it. And if you're willing to learn that, then you can receive that now. And if not, it is what it is. And you will see how that unfolds later in your life. And it won't be fun. But the truth is, as I said, just like in nature, there's always balance. And there is no creation without destruction. So there is no satisfaction, there's no happiness, there's no joy, there's no euphoria without the exact opposite. Without the pain, without the suffering, without the patience, without the isolation. So I'm just trying to help you become more aware that there is a natural and always taking place balance that's in our universe. So when it comes to the real Universe.B vampires, we're the beings that are bringing this balance to the universe that is very much needed, that most people don't understand and have an inability to embody. Let me say that one more time so you understand what I'm saying. As the Universe.B vampires, we are playing a role in the universe, on this planet, for the human species, that most people are unavailable to play or unavailable to embody because they don't have the awareness and they don't have the self-development to be that role. There needs to be destruction in our universe, just like there needs to be creation. There needs to be disgust, just like there needs to be beauty. There can be no beauty without disgust. There can be no destruction without creation. So as I said, as the Universe.B vampires, it is our role to bring levels of destruction to this planet so that different areas can bring new creations. All of it in alignment with source evolution. All of it in alignment with how nature and how natural the universe is supposed to manifest. Who are we to label, right, with our human minds, who are we to label what is right and what is wrong without simply just observing, being present and feeling that everything is happening the exact way it's supposed to? Who are we to dictate, oh, this is bad, this is good, this is right, this is wrong, when nothing can happen unless it's supposed to happen? See, this is the big trick. And as I said, the reason why the vampires are so powerful, especially in our today's time, the 2023 timeframe, is because everyone's so busy pointing. No one's taking responsibility. No one's looking inwards. Everyone's pointing. It's them, it's them, it's them. And all that them, they, this energy, it's uplining to the source of destruction on our planet, because that's destructive behaviors. And as I said, that goes back to the Universe.B vampires. The beings that have to do extreme amounts of internal self-development in order to even be Universe.B vampires. Anyone that's listening to this that knows and has truly received a Universe.B vampire service from me, which is in the first link of the YouTube description, any of you know that it's not easy being a vampire. It is a real self-development and a real healing process that you have to go through in order to obtain that level of power. But guess what? Many of you also know that are taking that path seriously. You know how much power it gives you. You know how much effect you have on the planet. I have people that follow me and that have learned a lot from what I teach, that have gone through the steps of awareness that I've basically given them or have relayed to them, because that's what their higher self wanted. And these people are able to shift drastic events within the entire planetary sphere. There's people that I know that follow from my work and can manifest hurricanes, can manifest tornadoes, can manifest, you name it, all types of circumstances, political changes, manifestations of new communities, manifestations of new archetypal mindsets in the mass collective. This is power. This is that freezing of time in the movie Dark City and then planting ideas into the unconscious that have a destructive nature. Except the highest levels of the universe be vampires. We're doing it under source awareness. So we're doing it in alignment with the source so that we don't receive the complete negative karma from what we're doing. Because remember, like all things energetically speaking, there is a cause and effect. And if you are unconsciously causing destruction, a lot of the times, without knowing what that destruction is geared for, or if you are not doing internal work, aligning with your purpose, and you are projecting unconscious destruction, that same destruction you are projecting will come full circle and it will affect you. Now, there's a difference when you're becoming aware of your internal self and you're following your purpose, and then you're allowing that natural unconscious destruction to manifest with knowing it's happening because it needs to destroy things that then can be rebuilt even better, or rebuild things in a more effective way for the evolutionary process. And we're not in control of it. We're not actually trying to plan it out or necessarily figure it all out. And I'm speaking at the highest levels of black magic, the highest levels of being a universe B vampire. We're letting the source do it through us. We're letting the source play the yin role through our being. Okay, we are not the heroes of humanity. We are not the heroes of society. We are the villains, but we're not evil. We're just playing our role, and we're letting the universe and the source move it through us. That's why we're so protected. That's why we can live lives of satisfaction. But there's not many of us that are actually aware of what this path is about and why we walk it. It's few amongst many. And that's part of what my purpose is to just spread the awareness of what I'm doing, what I know, what I've learned from experience, and relaying that information to others who are going to understand it and walk their own path in the way that they walk it, with a similar negatively polarized connotation, if you will, okay? So that's the reason why the vampires are so in control and have so much power. It's because everyone's busy giving it to us. They're busy giving it away because they're not doing that internal work. They're just not reflecting. They're not taking responsibility. And that is what it is. This is just the place of evolution that our planet Earth is in right now. And we're in a very big transition phase. Okay, it's not always going to be like this. And once again, it surely is not evil. It surely is not something that needs to be stopped. It needs to be put to an end. It's something that is. And by just being, you can do the most work. If you're really trying to make a change or make a significant impact, whoever you are listening to this, the most powerful thing you can do is just be and feel your true emotions. It's not about your mindset. It's not about what you're actively trying to create. It's not about your mantra towards manifesting world peace. It's about just being you and feeling. See, on that somatic level, on that emotional level, you are affecting the highest degrees of the spirit realm. But no one teaches that except me and, a few other people. But this is what's taking place. And yes, the black magicians, the vampires have a point in time right now, 2023. And for the past couple hundred years, we've been in power. We've been controlling circumstances. We've been working through the unconscious realm, manifesting levels of controlled destruction, if you will. Source destruction that is meant to happen. And the reason why we're in this position of gaining so much power is because we're doing this real work. In order to do what we do, We are forced to feel our emotions. We're forced to get in touch with the deepest layers of the dark feminine. That is our path. It is the dark feminine. Lilith is the gateway. Hecate is the gateway. Scarlet Woman is the gateway. Tiamat is the gateway for the Black Magician. We are the upside down triangle. Look at my YouTube picture. Look at my YouTube sigil. We are the womb. The womb is our gateway. We are the yin in the universe. We're the darkness in the universe. And we're not evil. We're just the negative energy. That's it. And we're not just negative energy either. We're balanced beings, creating balance in the totality of the universe, but we do polarize, and that's our polarity. So, of course, we're going to have the most power. Of course, we're going to have the most awareness of the unconscious, and therefore be able to use it to better manipulate certain levels of destruction in humanity, because that's our path, is to know those things unconsciously, is to go through the pain and the suffering, to know ourselves, to be able to move that energy, and then we move it accordingly. It's like moving a chess piece on a chessboard as if you're a professional player. You know why you're moving your piece. You're not doing it for no reason. There is a reason why you're doing it. That's what we do. None of the destruction that we manifest on this planet is random. It's not just because we're bad and we like seeing destruction. We actually don't. At the deepest layers of it, there's a part of us that feels a little bit bad when we manifest destruction on the planet. Just a part of us. We understand what it's for, and we know it's necessary, and we appreciate that, and we do have love for that. But there's also a part of us that loves the human species and loves this planetary sphere. And we know when we bring that destruction, we can feel the pain that it brings. We can feel the sorrow, the grief, the regrets that it brings. But those are just emotions. And when you feel those emotions, you actually get to the core of it, which is it had to happen. Because everyone else that felt that pain and felt that grief and felt that depression from our psychic warfare, that's what's causing them to better know themselves. And that's real love. That's one of the truest forms of love within the universe. See, one of the most misunderstood colors in the entire light spectrum is the color black. Is it not black that is the essence of the rainbow? Is it not black that is the color of all? Aren't all the colors together a manifest form of black? So why is it that black magicians, why is it that black magic is so demonized within our universe? Why is it so feared? Why is it so ran away from? It's because there's a lack of awareness on top of a programming, on top of indoctrination, on top of trauma that people have been through that are unwilling to heal. It's so much easier to say, oh, the bad guy did it to me. That's the reason I'm this way. Of course you're going to feel that way when you grew up with parents that didn't know how to love you. And then you grew up watching movies where there's always been a hero, and you've identified with that hero, and you've unconsciously felt like you were taken advantage of by the villain, which you've unconsciously identified with one of your parents. And because you've never gone there, because you're too afraid to feel that, and you're too afraid to even be aware of it, you most likely blurt it out in your consciousness. Meaning you don't even remember that time when you were traumatized as a little kid. But it's still there. It's still buried deep down. And you can feel it. And guess what? That feeling is not fun to feel. It's a bad feeling. It hurts. There's depression. There's fear, anxiety, sadness. Sometimes people experience psychosis because it's so much to feel. And they don't know how to feel yet. But that's okay. There's a starting point. And that's ultimately the reason why the vampires are in so much power. We're just doing our job. We're not doing anything too special other than focusing on ourselves as the source, which is quite special, but everyone else is responsible for themselves. And the balance that most people want to see in the universe is not even in comparison to what they're willing to balance within themselves. Everyone's looking externally rather than internally, and that's okay. Because as a Universe-B vampire, this is where we're gaining so much power. We're playing our role, gaining power the more people resist us. We are the magnets in the universe. And if people keep resisting and pushing out that energy, resisting their soul and pushing out that energy of, what's that saying? What resists persists. that in which you resist is that in which persists in your life. As the vampires, we receive all that energy from the resistance of the human species. And we continue to grow and grow and grow, and more so love ourselves, and love the universe, and love the source, love nature, and we get all the nice things in life. We do the nice things in life. We feel the nice things in life. Obviously, after a lot of work, after a lot of initiation, after a lot of self-healing, but we are the ones getting the most out of everything for the most part. Why is it always the wealthy people that are in the positions of power? Why is it always the extremely financially free millionaires, billionaires, and trillionaires that are separated from the mass collective? Why do you think I'm on Harmony Island right now, where it's a gated community, and not the average person is able to be here? These are manifestations of what I'm talking about when it comes to the negative polarity, when it comes to the Universe.B vampire. And once again, it's not evil. The only evil that exists is the concept you put on the word evil, which means you think you're evil, and you're not. People are afraid and think their own unconscious mind is evil, and it's not. But if that's what they want to believe, then they can continue to believe it until they don't anymore, okay? So with that being said, if this was a video that offered you an awareness that maybe you've never considered before, or maybe you've never heard of before, and if you appreciate the fact that I'm open enough and I'm honest enough, and generally that I'm powerful enough to talk about these concepts on a public YouTube channel. I mean, think about how many people don't have enough strength and courage to openly talk about these subjects. They're completely terrified. What will my parents think? What will my boss think? What will my friends think? What are just strangers gonna think of me? I'm giving it to you raw and honest, and guess what? I know it's speaking at a deep level for a large portion of you. It's like literally, this is why my content is able to shift realities, because I don't give a shit what other people are thinking about me. I am me, and I will be me, and I will always be me, and I will do what I do best at all times. Now, I'm not perfect. I make mistakes, but I'm on the path of being in full alignment, and that's what I do. So once again, if you've really appreciated it, go ahead and drop down in the comment section and let me know. Because as I've mentioned before, I do read all the comments. Look, we got a crow right here. I don't know if you can see. Hey, buddy, you want to say something? Crows are intelligent. There you go. Okay. So he said what he had to say. Once again, if you enjoyed the video, hit the thumbs up button. Also, hit the notification bell, because I post videos as often as I can, and with content like this, you absolutely don't want to be missing out. Imagine that. Now go ahead and hit the subscribe button, because by subscribing, you can literally further link into the content itself. Very powerful and very valuable if you're subscribed. Okay, I don't know why you wouldn't do it. Now, you have my full permission to copy and paste this link and send it to anyone that you feel like will receive this in a beneficial way. If there are people that you know that need to hear these types of perspectives or would find these interesting, then send it to them or post it on your social media. Spread my content. My intention is to spread it like a wildfire, okay? Now, with that being said, I'm going to take your awareness now to the most important link within the entire YouTube description itself. This is the first link in the YouTube description. First link, you cannot miss it. It's the Patreon. On my Patreon, I have an entire vault of exclusive occult content. None of that content is on my public YouTube channel, and that is for many intentional reasons. It's not meant for the public. Just like this Harmony Island I'm on is not meant for the public, neither is my Patreon. It's meant for people that are investing extra time, energy, and money into themselves. Okay? Tier 2 gives you access to an entire magic training course, which is fundamental, especially if you're becoming a beginner practitioner. Then Tier 3 is the Universe.B vampire service. So if you want to become a vampire yourself, a Universe.B vampire, and you want to receive the energetic initiation of that, then tier number 3 is your tier. It's a service that I perform on the 29th of every single month, and it's designed to completely change your energetic structure to be more so Universe.B dominant, service to self-oriented, negatively polarized. Okay, so once again, if you want to take advantage of that, tier number 3, that is the most popular tier of the Patreon itself. We'll leave it there. As you move into tier number 4, you get access from everything else in the previous tiers, except an additional bonus of psychic predictions on a monthly basis. This is where I can literally predict what's taking place in the new month for you based on your personal zodiac sign. So if that's something you want to take advantage of, that would be tier number 4 of the Patreon. We'll leave it there. So big shout out to everyone who's a Patreon member for taking your knowledge, your practices, and your studies to that other side. All of you are very much so appreciated by me for taking that deeper self-development healing path. It is not easy to do. I'm aware of that. So that's why you have my full appreciation for those of you that are on that path. Now, as you move into link number 2 of the YouTube description, this is where you can book a one-on-one call with me. So if you actually want to get on a live call with me and you have personal questions you want to get answered, or if you just want to pick my mind, if you feel like intuitively you'll gain value from that, definitely consider it. Second link is where you can book a one-on-one with me. The bird's even telling you to do it. And then you also have the option to book a mentorship with me. If you're taking your practice really to a more serious degree, I have a 6-week mentorship and I have a 3-month mentorship. This is going to be extremely beneficial for those of you that are really trying to see massive transformations taking place or initiating into your life. All of that in that second link below. Now also within that same second link below, you have an option to book a one-on-one tarot reading with me. Okay, so in this tarot card reading, I can literally pinpoint exactly where you are on the Kabbalistic tree. I can tell you what you're feeling and experiencing in the present moment, and then what to expect moving into your near and your long-term future, all based on your positioning on that Kabbalistic tree itself. I promise you have never received a reading like this one before. I promise it. It's because I understand the Kabbalistic tree way more than the average person, as well as a lot of spiritual concepts. So if this is something you want to take advantage of, that's in the second link below as well. I've done well over 1,500 readings at this point. I've been doing this for over 2 years for other people, and I receive tons of valuable feedback. So if you want to do it, book at that second link below. We'll leave it there. Now, as you move into the third link below, this is where you can become a YouTube member. As you're a YouTube member, you are gaining access to a multitude of different benefits, but most importantly, you're getting access to what I've called the Psychic Warfare Emoji Program. And what this is this is a sequence of emojis that I've designed myself that are based on real occult principles. And you can use them in a specific configuration. You link in the name of a target, hit enter, and it actually causes psychic effects to the target of your choice. It's the most simple form of utilizing psychic warfare through the internet platform, and there are well over 2,000 posts where individuals have already taken advantage of it. So if it's something you want to take advantage of too, and you want a healthy form of expression, a healthy form of expressing any sort of aggression towards a specific target of your choice, you can do so through the Psychic Warfare Emoji Program, and it will actually cause energetic effects. All right, so with that being said, you click that third link below, then you hit join, and then you'll gain access to all the exclusive emojis. All right, so that's going to wrap it up. Ladies and gentlemen, all of you are very much so appreciated by myself, and I really do hope you have an amazing rest of the day or night, wherever you are, and I will see you in the near future. Peace.